kind of chatting, and you're like, perfect time to dive in. So we were talking about like management,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
how I am on the path of wanting to become a manager. And you had something important to say, so I'm gonna let you take the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah. I think that there are so many artists to the point that people call it oversaturated, but I don't call it that. I think it's
Yeah.
missaturated. Like I think that everyone wants to be the artist. You know what I'm saying? And like I've even in my career had like thoughts of becoming a manager because it's so hard to keep your chin
Hmm.
up and release music that's good. It's so hard. It's really hard to center yourself and then get into the studio, write a dope record, feel confident about it, and
Yeah.
release it. It's just
Just I've
a
heard and
lot
I've
on the
seen
mental.
artists that I've talked to in the past. It's just like they write songs, and the hardest part is like that, just that whole process of writing a song and like feeling confident enough to the point, because I feel like most artists are like over perfectionists too. So it's like if it's not perfect, it's hard to like,
Yeah.
it's as good as it's gonna be. Let's release it anyways.
Not everybody is as good as a perfectionist as
Yeah,
Shoku.
yeah.
That kid is a perfectionist and he's a
Hmm.
good perfectionist. There's like a solid difference between like being a perfectionist and you just can't get it right. Like you're just like like honestly it'll be perfect the first time and then like sometimes me myself included artists will like change it and then it's like no go back three
Yeah.
versions ago bro and just leave it. Shoku bro nails it like basically like on the first
Damn,
try.
that's
I
super
don't
rare.
think that kid hits double digit
That is
versions.
super rare.
I really don't think so. That kid
Yeah.
is really good. So with that being said, it's like I think every artist needs a wingman. Like my wingman is Shoku. I'll sit in the studio for 8 hours and not beat my ears up. I take really good care of my ears. That's also really important. But when you're listening to the same thing over and over and over again, just naturally your ears are gonna miss things and
Right.
stuff like that. I always send my stuff to Shoku. He's so honest and like either it's like oh dude leave
Hmm.
it this is perfect or it's like oh yo like this is lacking that or like things that like you overlook and you're like oh yo thank you I here I am it's like I've been listening to it for like 6 hours like it'll explain why I
Right.
missed that stuff like that. Everyone needs a wingman, especially like talking about how it's a lot
Yep.
on your mental. You need a good friend too. He's also a good friend of mine, so like I got two in one.
That's
I'm
super
lucky with
dope.
that. But I have my girlfriend too, my dad. I'm very close with my dad. So having a stable mental support system like right there is super important. Like OD important, especially again like getting into
Yeah.
creative flow is so hard. Like, do you struggle with that yourself? Like when you're like, do you write at all as like a reporter and stuff? Do you like have
Yeah.
writer's block?
So yeah, I do. It's hard to like, especially because like,
Yeah.
for one, like I'm battling like getting good people on the show too. And then also just like creating content and stuff like that. Like it you
Yeah, you get the too cool for school
yeah,
kids.
yeah. And yeah, don't
Don't
do
do that.
that.
Number one. That like yo, number one rule. You are not cooler than
Facts.
anybody. Like if you think you're
Facts.
cooler. So like you got to start somewhere. And if you have somebody that's like also starting somewhere, it's probably a good idea to
Yep.
start somewhere.
And help each other out.
Just saying,
That's we're
you
all
know?
one big family. But
Yeah.
to
Well,
answer your question, yeah, I
yeah.
because like producing a podcast. Thank you for asking me this because I feel like I haven't been able to like explain
Of
this. But
course.
yeah, like producing a podcast
Go
is like
ahead, man.
you have to do. It's almost like writing a because I do weekly releases, so it's almost like writing a research paper every single week.
That's
Yeah.
true though.
So
A
yeah,
research paper. I mean, were you good in
no,
school? Like, were you
definitely
into
not.
research and
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh,
Sports? Like, did you research sports at all? Like, how'd you get into reporting?
uh,
Just music?
Yeah, just the love
Because
of
that's
music,
even
man, and just
worse.
knowing like I really know a lot of for whatever reason, like 'cause, like my family's like really into music and movies and stuff like that. So like entertainment as a whole, I'm just really into. I've always been into, and I know like even like classic like information on like classic bands and classic movies and like certain lines from like certain movies. Like I've always
That's
been
sick.
into like this entertainment. So if I'm into something, it's very easy
That's
for me to
sick.
research it and learn all I can about it.
So like you're one of those guys that know like
Yeah,
actors,
yeah,
actresses and such,
yep.
like by name and face and such. My really good friend Brandon, He's like a
Hmm.
brother to me. He's so good with that stuff. Like he knows every
Yep.
movie that's coming out, like who's who, and I'm here. I am. I'm like, what? Like lost in the sauce. Like I have to go to him for culture stuff. Like I'm like, yo, what happened in the movies last week? Like
Yeah.
stuff like
So yeah,
that.
I've always
Yeah.
just really
He's
been into
yeah.
that, but
I feel that.
no, school definitely not my
Ooh.
strong point at all. I've always had more of an entrepreneurial like mindset to where like I have to be
Sick.
into something to like do well in it. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cool.
So I did want to
Yeah.
go
I
back
mean,
to talking about you. Like, what? Take me to the beginning, like, cause you've been producing music for what, 6 years now?
yeah, about
Okay.
7 actually. So the beginning, 2015, is when I
Hey, same.
graduated
Really, that
high
same age.
school.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome. So I got out and I was actually supposed to be in a electrical engineering program at Bloomsburg University. And because my GPA was a little lower than what they
Hmm.
they wanted me to go to a summer school. But I had missed an email in regards to that.
Uh.
So when I went to like finish like applying and putting in my my room and board and such, they were like, "Bro, you were supposed to be here like 2 months ago. Like, try
Hmm.
again next year." And I was like, "What? Like, you gotta be kidding me? No way!" And like, I can't even lie. I went into a downward spiral. I mean, I think
Oh
anyone in
yeah.
that position would, but like I was working at a pizzeria since I was like from 14 till just until the pandemic. So I was saving up for that. You know, I was one of those kids like I got my car, like I got my own car, I worked for that. Like I was working to save up to go to college, stuff like that. And then that happens. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the what the fuck do I do? Like he's like I don't even know what to do. So my dad and I were like, all right, I'm not gonna just sit here for a year. Like that just can't happen, you know. And like I said, my dad's like my number
Hmm.
one fan. My dad listens to my music every day. Like he has
That's
his own
awesome.
playlist and like listens to everything. Like whether it's released or unreleased, it'll be sometimes the shittiest thing, but he loves it and he'll still listen. He's just the man. Uh, but he was like, we can't just have you sit here and just go
Right.
to work. Like you need to do something for like for your brain, you know. So I was like, I love music. Like you know, I was DJing as a hobby. Like I had DJed at Space Yacht, Club
Oh
Space,
wow.
not Space Yacht. Sorry,
Not that
sorry,
cosplay.
Club
Got
Space.
it.
I wish Space Yacht at Club Space in New York. At like the bar area. It wasn't like the stage or anything, but the bar area. But to me, like it was just a
Right.
hobby. I wasn't trying to take anyone's
Right. Right.
spots up there. So I was like, I'll take the bar. That's cool with me, man. Just like sure. Uh, so it was just DJing at that point. He was like, well, why don't you try producing? And I was like, you really believe in me? Like, yeah, like it was kind of like the opposite. Like normally, parents are like, nah, you can't
Hmm.
do that. Like my dad was like, why don't you just try for a year, man? Like you saved up. Like you can't be depressed.
That's so important because, yeah, like you said, like most people's parents, like even my parents, when I told them that, I
So
was like,
genuine.
I don't know what I want to do. And then that day that I was like, I figured out what I want to do. I want to pursue music or career in music. They were like, are you sure about that?
Yeah,
Like, what about the drug use? And what about the alcohol? And what about this? And what about that? And
yeah.
just like every reason why I shouldn't. And
Just stay
yeah, that's
away from it,
cool.
dog. That's my
Yeah.
answer. Just yeah,
But that's
man.
cool that he
Just
like
like
supported you and
just
like whatever you wanted to do. He was just like, either way, it's healthy because you're doing
yeah,
what you love and it's healthy like for your brain activity and stuff. So
yeah,
that's awesome that
yeah. And
your dad's so
like
supportive.
he trusts me. Like a hustle. Yeah, he loves the hustle.
Hmm.
You know, and he appreciates the hustle. And I kind of put the name for myself though with him, like that I can do it because of working and such, stuff like that. So like he knew I had it in me to just keep grinding and to like
Right.
never give up. I mean, it's a free
Yeah.
internship if
Yep.
you think about it. It's an unpaid internship until an agent is like, who's that
Yeah.
kid and where's he been, and I want to hear what he has to say about his future because like it might be intriguing. Then you sit down with the agent that you've been waiting for
Hmm.
years, and it's like, which I'm still waiting for. So like that's what I was saying before, is like it all started in 2015 because I was going to
Hmm.
festivals. Like I went to my first EDC. It was in New York City, and I was like one of the last ones. I believe it was 2014, and then 2015, and then it was Cahoots. But it was just like I want to be up there. Like I want to be up there.
Yep.
Like and I kept going to that extent. But then from 2015 to 2016, I went to a school called Dubspot
Okay.
in Manhattan. Um, and it only lasted about 11 months, and it got shut down, and I was devastated. Obviously, I had invested money into it. Um, I was only there for like 10, 11 months, and I was like, all I learned was Ableton, which is like
Right.
obviously great, but like if you're watching this and you're a producer, like like thank God I got the hardest homework down for the course. Like thank God it wasn't like, oh, like I need to learn how to DJ, and
Yeah, because
I
you
went for a
already
couple
were a
months
DJ
and
prior to that. Yeah, yeah.
exactly, like thank God I went for the Ableton course, and like I got the Ableton course done. I started to do the mixing and mastering course, and like when I tell you it was like maybe 3 weeks, 3 classes, 4 classes in, I went one day and there was an eviction notice like on the door. I mean, the guy that owned Dubspot, um, like had again,
Yeah.
mental health. It's huge in this industry. Is like he just couldn't do it anymore. Like
Yep.
and he wasn't paying the bills, and there was a lot of stuff going on in his personal life that he like and then just affected his business, and then they shut down. But like we didn't really get the heads up, so it was
So,
heartbreaking. Another
something
heartbreak for
similar
me.
to that, because I
Like,
know recently in the last, I don't know, 6 months maybe, you lost your management. I did
mm,
want to ask
mm-hmm.
you a little bit about that. Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy thing is, it's not that I lost my management. He actually, I found out through you after the fact that I had
Right.
stopped working with 92, which
Yeah.
I love Justin. He's
Yep.
such a
Agree.
great guy. So yeah, it's not like I lost 92 or they lost me. There's still love
I I
for
for
them,
I,
for each other. Like
I
that's
forgot
my
that you
family.
left. You actually like cut ties prior to them, or prior to Justin stopping.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't, out of all of us on the roster, that he didn't call me to like let me know that he was stopping, because I wonder if he almost wonders like if I'd somehow talk him like to
Yeah.
not give up. So he didn't call me. I don't know if you can tell I'm very optimistic. So he probably wanted to avoid calling me like no, because Elusion would probably try to just
Right.
like
Right.
stay. So like, I was like shocked when you told me. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I
Like
just got a
at
random
that
text
point,
one.
I was
I got a
just like,
random
"What?"
text one day, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm."
Oh,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
got it.
right. Why did I get it?
I'm telling you, man. He didn't want to feel. He didn't want to face the optimism of me, man.
What have you
That's
done,
fine.
like game plan wise, for your project since that time happened?
So it's funny. I kind of just wanted to do a year of being independent. I
Okay.
just wanted to
Yep.
see what it was like to just be by myself and like rely on myself. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm thinking about moving to Florida because my sister
Hmm.
lives there. I'm close with my sister. Um, she's 29, so it's like when you start to hit like 25 and like that, like between 25 and 30, you start thinking like the future. You're like, damn, yo, I don't know if I want my sister. That's so far. That's a flight, like, and a whole day of planning it. Like, I can't just like be like, yo, like you all right? No, oh shit, all right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get in my car, and I'm like, she used to live in Maryland, and it was doable. You know what I mean? Like she used to obviously live with me until she went to college, and then uh, before my parents got divorced. So it's like she was like a roommate until she was 18
Yeah.
and left, and so it's like I don't know. Like I just feel. Do you have a
I have
sibling?
a stepsister, but no, I'm an only child.
You have a step.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's like when you have a sibling, you kind of feel like a piece of me
Yeah,
is
I feel it.
missing if you're
Yep.
close with them. It's very odd. It's just weird. I never thought I'd ever say that. Like, no offense, Alexandra, because I know she will. But like, you just never think about it. And I'm sure she'd say the same. And she'd be like, "Dude, same. Like what?" But you just don't think about it. So I'm thinking about moving to Florida just because of that. Opportunities are so different in Florida compared to
Where
up
do you live
here.
now?
Um, I live in like South
Got
Central
it.
New
Okay.
Jersey,
Yep.
like the
Got it. Got it.
Bridgewater area. So it's
Florida's
just
nice, man.
getting to New York
I don't know
City is a
too.
pain in the ass. Getting to Philly is like
Yeah.
annoying. And on top of that, I'm just releasing music. I think I've released
You
7
literally just
songs
released a
already
song
this year.
today, didn't you? Yeah.
I literally just released a song an hour
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, games,
I went and listened to it. It's very good. Go
free
listen to
promo.
it.
Thank you
um,
so much, bro. I appreciate that so
so
much,
how
man.
did,
Thank you.
besides the move, you said you wanted to be independent
Yeah.
for a year or whatever. How does that
Yeah, I
coincide?
kind of just want to build my
Okay.
portfolio. Like, I feel like I started to build my portfolio prior, you know, to the pandemic, and then afterwards it was kind of like after the pause and the pandemic, it was kind of like
Yeah.
now what? Like literally, like you already know for sure that all the promoters are gonna go for the big names to try to
Mhm.
get their money back. You
Yep.
can't blame them. And if you're an artist and you're upset or mad at that, then like you don't love
Well, and you also
music
don't
the way that
understand the
you
business
should,
side
because
as much as you probably should.
that's exactly what I mean. It's like you
Yeah.
gotta understand, like it's not just about like
Yeah.
how hard we work, and how hard that. Look at me, I'm like it's so painful to say it. It at the end of the day, it's about the
Yeah.
dollar signs and like, bro. Acre said something that really stuck to me in his interview, just recently. He had an interview that said that he said it's 60-40.
Yep.
It is 60 networking, 40 like
Yep.
what you make, who you are, etc. It really is that way now, and that's social
Social media
media.
game is no joke. You have to
It's
get good at
just
it.
it's
Yeah.
bro. I literally, like, if I say I give up at one thing, it is trying to
Right.
understand
Same.
algorithms
Yeah.
and
Yep.
social media. Like, I literally tell my dad, I'm like, yo, I can't be worried about the content and understanding the algorithm and X, Y, Z equals MC square and make music, and then like go to work and try to figure out, like, all right, how am I gonna like make music and then think
Yeah.
about this and then think about that? And I'm like, well, I gotta start to think about who can, and like start to hire people like myself, like. And I feel like that's where I was saying, like,
Yeah.
agents come into play so big because they have all that and they know who and they know what, and like, they can hear your vision and be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
can't wait to do it with you.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I could just take a piece of paper, right, and write down my whole vision, right, and give it to an agent, I genuinely in my heart feel like he'd look at me and be like, damn,
Yeah.
where you been? Like, these ideas are crazy.
So,
Like,
so what's your
bro, from tours to albums, like, I have it up in here. I just need to
yeah.
conversate with somebody that can make it happen. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's all about the performance and the shows and like what you really want to do with
Yeah.
your art, and it's like, if I could just explain and show someone, I just feel like they'd be like, that's a great idea, that's a great idea, that's, oh my god, that's a great idea. And it's just like, I just can't find that person where I am, and it's so frustrating. It's like, well, am I gonna risk like writing a piece of mail and sending it to them? Then you just
Yeah.
look weird, and I feel like
Well, I
I
mean,
just
in
don't know
today's day
what's
and
too
age,
much, what's too
email would be
little.
the way to
Like,
go, but
yeah, I mean, but do you know
yeah,
how many
thousands.
emails like somebody from like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
UTA gets? Like, Smash Gordon probably gets like what,
yeah. Yeah.
dozens and dozens of
Probably more
emails a
than that.
day, man. I can't
Probably a few
imagine.
hundred a
Like,
day.
yeah, I mean, everyone, bro. I can't imagine how many hungry people there are that are just like me, and that's what puts
Yeah.
me in the studio. That like, there's always someone that's working harder than me. And I
Yep.
just tell myself that, like, there's someone working harder than you right now. Like, there's someone doing something to leverage
Mhm.
themselves more than you right now. And I'm like,
Gotta
gotta
go.
go. It's like Lil Wayne had this interview, like talking about his cup back in the day, that everyone used to ask him what was in his cup, but because everyone was talking about him, it made him all this
Mhm.
publicity, right? This man was just drinking, like, most of the time, just like regular soda in a cup, but because people were just nosy and they want to know
Yep.
what's in the cup, he was getting interviews left and right about what the hell was in the cup. So then there was a guy doing an interview with him, and he was like, so like, oh yeah, telling him that story. He's like, maybe I should pick that cup back up. Yeah, maybe, bro. It's like, that's where I'm at right now. That's where maybe I
Right.
should pick that cup back up.
So, what is your plan for? You've been talking a lot about being solo and like potentially finding an agent someday. Like,
My plan is to continuously release
okay,
my music until I get to Florida, because
yeah,
I'm gonna get to Florida. And when I get to Florida, I just need to meet the right people. Like, I know who in my head, who like I've seen like just groom
right,
beautiful artists, and I'm like,
Can I have that?
like if I could just sit down with that guy for a cup of coffee for 15 minutes or her. You know, there's like I'm looking now. There's so many female agents that are killing it that
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
like,
lot of females in
ooh,
this,
like you would
like
be so
newly
good
put
for
in
the
this game that are
team.
destroying. Like,
Dude, there's
yeah,
nothing better than a
so
girl in a
sick.
blazer, bro.
So proud of them.
Like it is
Yeah,
the coolest shit. Like,
and I'm
whoa,
proud
it
of our
is the coolest shit. Like you see a girl in the street,
I'm
it's
proud
like,
of our
yeah, let's
industry
go.
for like going along with that and accepting the fact that women are just as
Yeah,
capable as
bro.
us. You know, like I think it's super cool that
Hell yeah,
you're
man.
seeing
Especially
you're
our
seeing more
community.
female artists, you're seeing more female people in the back end. Like, just overall, it's just
Yep.
our industry, especially in EDM, is like starting to become a lot more well balanced on both sides. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
cohesive. You know, because like we
yes,
need both.
very much.
That's for sure. Like, you know, so it's good that everyone's starting to learn, man. And it's like you see the agents go, and it's like I'd give you
Hmm.
a shot. And I know, like, if I could just, like I said, give you a
Yeah,
cup of coffee, I think you'd give
yep.
me a shot. Like, so that's the plan, man.
I wanted to talk a little bit about like your music releases. 'Cause you've also been pretty
Sure.
much like you've been self-releasing a lot of stuff recently too, right?
Yeah. I just the NFT scam, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it
I
because
actually haven't
again,
talked
like,
about
this is
NFTs, I don't think, on this
business.
show. So yes, I am down.
I have friends that like release music on labels, and it's like I don't want them to get like screwed. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
it works. Like I'm just being honest. I'm just gonna say what everyone else is thinking.
And I feel like
How's it
that's
work?
where I just had this conversation with Omos, right? I was asking him, why would one person decide to go to school when you have so much like access to like learning stuff online and YouTube tutorials and shit like that, and like things like the Fire Society.
Hmm.
And I feel like the stuff with like the
Oh, I'll get into my
NFT
YouTube.
stuff is like super
Yep.
important. I feel like to like and like the education portion of like going to Icon or like going to whatever school that even the school that you went to. I feel like I'm that's another good reason for the audience listening, like to maybe go to school, is because you get to learn like you're obviously going to learn the back end business stuff, and that's one of the main important things. But like
Yeah.
incorporating, and I think they have started
So honestly,
incorporating the
most
NFT
important
stuff
nowadays,
into
for
it.
sure.
But that as another good reason to go to school is because like a lot of us just don't even know what all this stuff is, and like the people at like top of the game like Gary Vee and like
Blockchains and
Logan
all that
Paul and those
stuff.
guys like know NFTs really well. They buy and trade and blah blah blah. They're in the game. But for us who are just like we're
Yeah. But they're also
right,
very
yeah, and they
rich
have the money
already.
to
You know what I mean?
experience
So
or
it's
to spend on like learning this
yeah,
stuff,
like
and taking risks. I mean, they're focused on entertainment, but we're focused on like music and
yeah.
stuff. And then when you have that main focus and you're just trying to make it as an artist, it's hard to like focus on the other back end stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I was saying before. It's like I can't be working on like thinking about content for TikTok, Instagram, and this, that, and the third. Like Moon Boy's a
Oh,
god
dude,
at
he is
his
so
content. I'll
underrated.
give
Oh
him
my
that.
god, he's been grinding for
I don't
so
know how
long,
that
and he's
man
so
is.
talented, and like he doesn't get put on shit.
Yeah. So that dude is out there with like a
Uh huh.
million things, and like he's able to do TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, like YouTube, and like all that good stuff. And it's like at the end of the day, it's like, yo, how are you?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not even saying like, yo, you need to sleep.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Like, yo, like I know the saying, we'll sleep when we're dead. Like disco nap, all the good stuff. Like been there, done that.
You
Like,
just said
hats
something.
off
What
to
is a
that
disco
kid.
nap? I've never heard of that.
A
Yeah.
disco nap, like a 30, 45-minute nap here and there, like whenever you can. Like if you're a passenger in the car, close your eyes.
I've never heard that terminology. I'm surprised.
Yo, so like when I got to the class and I got evicted,
Yeah.
back to this, bro, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna just quit. Like I've literally just started. Like I'm not letting that happen. I started going and watching YouTube
Mhm.
every night, like for hours, falling asleep watching YouTube and just waking up YouTube. Then like I'd have like coffee, I'd shower, I'd get in the studio, and whatever I just watched for like the last
Yeah.
12 hours, I'd try to apply it, then do it all over again for every single day. It was like, do you watch American
Yeah.
Dad? Go
Yep.
to sleep,
Yep.
go to work,
Yep.
go home. Go to sleep, go to work, go home. Go to sleep, go to work, go home. It was like that, bro. Like, but like go to the studio, work, a little sleep, go home. Like, I was like,
So
like
you were,
it did
so you were
like
living
that
you were
as
living
an
off
hour
disco
rule.
naps then.
Yeah, well, Now I'll sleep for like anything from like 5 to like
Hmm.
6.5 hours, and I've learned I can go to sleep at 2 o'clock and I'll wake up at 7 or 8 and I'll
Chilling.
be
Yeah.
good to go. Like that's all
Yep.
I need. Yeah. Like last night I went to bed I think at like 2 and I woke up this morning at
Yeah,
8. So
you
6
replied to my
hours.
text
You
like
know, so
early. I
that's
was
what
like,
I
oh
need.
fuck. He's up
Yeah,
already.
my friends think I'm psychotic, bro. Like, I don't think Shoku thinks I sleep, yo. I think like he'll hit me up. He's like,
How much cocaine
bro,
do you do?
when was the last time you were in a bed? But I do sleep. I sleep every night. I do sleep, bro. I do. My girlfriend makes sure that I sleep, yo. Like that was another turning point, like a
Hmm.
breakthrough moment in my career was like easily like last August, like when my girlfriend and I started dating, and I started to like really
I'm
take
glad you
care
brought
of
that up because I
myself
actually did want to
because
dive
she
into that because I know
cared.
how much of a support system she is to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, that's sick. Oh,
She
she
might
might cry
cry.
when she watches this. Yeah, dude. Bro, she's great, yo. She is literally the best. Like when we started to date, it was like a total. When I say 180, like 180, like started to care about like what
Hmm.
I was eating, like making sure I was sleeping because like when she saw my schedule and like how fucked up it was, she was like, "You don't got
Yeah.
much left in you if you keep
You
doing
need a
this,
manager
man."
of your
Like,
life.
bro, wife-ager, bro.
Yeah.
She is. My dad literally calls her my
That's
wife-ager,
funny.
bro. Like that's what she is because my sleep
Yeah.
schedule was all fucked up. The people who I was hanging around with were fucked up. I'm not even gonna censor it. Like they were fucked up. They not like like you shouldn't be told that like you need to be able to drink all of this to be that person or to be
Right.
like it's and then you're gonna post about mental health like
Yeah.
those kinds of
Yeah.
people like bro like I kicked those kinds of people out of my life. She was like, "Yo, you can't be around. That's
Yeah.
fake. Like, you can't be like, oh, like mental health on your Instagram, and then like on the weekends, like to your friends, you're like, oh, drink all this, and like,
True.
there's drinking problems in
Very
my
true.
family. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, yeah, like it's like there's drinking problems in my family. So like, I firmly say like, yo, I don't drink. Like, I don't. I just, it's too much for me. Like, if I'm drinking, it's like a beer out of a celebratory thing. Like, if I'm at like Fridays with
Hmm.
my big brother, like if I'm with my brother at Fridays and he's like, "You want a tall blue moon?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
have a tall blue moon." But like we cut it there, like we're chilling. But I'm not gonna go like if I'm
Yeah.
working, like
Especially
that's
working.
work to
Yep.
me, man. Like
People don't know how to separate
it's
that a
work to
lot,
me.
especially or people in their early
Yeah,
stages. Like they do not know how to separate that.
and it frustrates me because it's like I'm just not
Yep.
into that. Like we're here to
Yep.
throw the party, like we're here to
This is
like
my
throw a
job.
performance,
Take it
throw a
seriously.
show, like have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like go out, party, have
Yep.
fun. Like if you see me play, like I'm real active on the like not active on the mic that I'm annoying,
At
but I'm
Jaws.
active. Like and
Have
I
you seen
love
Jaws?
and
Bro, he
no,
talks so much.
does it? That's so weird because I saw him years ago and he used to like
Yeah,
not say
he
shit.
talks
Now
so
he
much.
talks a lot. That's funny. Yo, good for
Right,
him. He's a
right.
fucking stud now. That man lost mad weight, got a haircut, got wifed up, yo. Like he's
Yep, yep,
freaking rich
yep.
now. Good for
Talk on
him.
the
Talk on the mic, bro. You go,
mic.
Jaws. You go, Jaws. Bro, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
performance is key. And if you're like Gom,
Oh
my
yes, a
brother,
good example.
awesome performer. I love this kid, bro. Great performer. He gets so into it,
Mm-hmm.
his voice cracks. That's my brother. I can't wait for a back to back with him because him and I together, it's just we would have so much fun. You
That's
know what I mean?
important.
Like that's what we're there for. We're there to have fun, man. And it's like you can't be having fun. Like I know that like if I were to drink too much, I would be
Yeah.
miserable. I'd be like, bro, like how the fuck I'd be shitting bricks, bro. I'd get so anxious. I'd be like, nah,
No.
nah, are you, man? No, you can't get me out there. Because it's like, yo, like that like for other people may like
Mhm.
help them and good for them. Like I wish. But like for me it's like nah, like I need to just like get my goose fraba on. Alright, it's game time. Go out there and have a ball. But like it's just like I can't. So like she really made
Yeah.
me realize that. And she was like, yo, like come back to reality, Like
She
this is who you
she's
are,
older
follow
than
who you are.
she's a
Like
little
don't worry
older than
about
you
what
too,
they
right?
say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's a move.
Yes, she
That's a
is.
big move, especially if you're mature. Like that's such a move.
Yeah, it's such a flex. I'm so happy. She really like helped me
Yeah.
grow up too, because that's another thing. Like I went through my parents got divorced when I was like literally going to be a senior in high school. So like I went from living with my parents in like a house to living in an apartment with my dad like 48 hours before my first day of school for senior year. So that was a lot.
Sheesh.
It was just I think I missed the first day of school
Shit. Damn.
that year. So that kind of like
Yeah.
set the vibe of like how my year was gonna go. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a brutal one, man. That year was probably the reason why I probably had to go to like that summer school
Damn.
program.
I had to do summer school
Not
once.
gonna
That's
lie.
not fun.
Yeah, it sucked. Yo, hey, I think the big man upstairs though,
Yeah.
because like I wouldn't be where I am. You know, like I literally would not be here because like I
Yep.
would have went to that program. I would have went to that college. Like and none of this would have been a thing. I wouldn't none
Yeah.
of this. Like you know what I mean? So like I probably already have a job for the program I was going in. Like
So,
none of this would be possible.
so my
I'm
next
so
question
happy
is:
it
you
went
seem
the
like
way
you
it
really,
went.
and I know this is important to you. You seem like you have a really strong
Yeah.
mindset. How did you develop that?
Oh man, my dad. I'm just gonna flat out give it to him.
You
My
give
dad.
people, you give
I could cry about
important
it.
people in your life a lot of credit. That's really dope.
It's all about credit, man. I think that that's another mistake that artists make is that they don't give
Yeah.
credit where it's due. You
Yep.
gotta give credit where it's due. Like I've had I've had idols become rivals because I've just hear them talk out of pocket about how no one
Mhm.
helped them. And I know that a lot of people help them. It just
Yeah.
turns you off in a sense. You're like, bro, you used to be an idol, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't, bro, because I know you got a lot of help, so you can't be doing that's fucked up, man. Like that's fucked up. So it's like you want to give credit where it's due because it's
Yeah.
due, man. What? That's due, and it's karma. I firmly believe in karma, and like, bro, my dad has kept me so positive, and like made me notice when the grass was greener on the other side. Like I used to be like not used to be like for a little like when I was growing up, my mom always said like he's the happiest kid ever. You can give him shit on a stick. It's just the thought, you know. But then like I obviously hit that like
Yeah.
wall like when my parents got
It's
divorced.
a
Like it
tough,
kind of messed me up a
dude.
little bit.
My
I'm
parents
not
got
gonna lie.
divorced when I was 4 months old, and I was like early on. So like I didn't never. I have one memory of my parents ever being together, and
Okay,
even that like
is that
yeah,
hard for
I've
you?
had to like as an adult in the last couple of years, I actually had to like focus on like healing certain things that I didn't even know that needed to be healed because I was so young. It messed me up in ways that I was just like,
Wow.
oh, this is just normal. I think this is how everyone is. And then I like realized
Wow.
like, oh no, this is like stuff that like I actually need to heal from. Like it was affecting like my romantic relationships.
Yeah.
It was affecting my friendships. Like so, I've grown a lot in the last couple of years. But yeah, I
Fuck.
know the feelings and
See
what
what
you
I
have to
mean,
do
bro?
to get over the fact of like having your parents divorced is not an easy thing, man. So. Yeah,
It's not,
I feel like it.
bro.
Honestly, I feel like it
Did
gets
your
harder
friend group
the older
change?
you get too, because you had a family.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like where like I never had I don't really
Yeah.
remember my parents ever like for real together. So
I
yeah,
appreciate that. That's I respect that aspect, the view of that aspect, because like I look at it the other way,
Mhm.
just like you did. You know, like I look at it like, damn, you know, like would it be harder or easier, like if I were
I think it's
younger,
harder.
You know, like
I think it's harder
I've
as you
had
get older,
friends.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I agree is because it's like you
Yes. Yep.
understand
Yep.
like what's going on, and it's like then you
Yep.
get put in the middle, which is like
A pain in the ass. Yeah, I was
the
put in the middle of my
worst.
entire life, dude.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, bro, like, and then you're in the middle, and it's like. Bro, and then I'm just gonna be honest, like 90% of the time, like the one parent's only putting you in the middle, the other one's
Mhm.
like really not, like you know what I mean? You're kind of just like, one's like, yo, like it's your parent, you
Mhm.
gotta do what you gotta do. And, you're
And the
like,
different rule and
Yeah.
and the different rules and shit per household.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah,
How do I
yeah,
keep all
it's
this
like,
shit
yeah.
straight?
So it's like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, you know, whatever. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you gotta bite your mouth, and you're like, yeah. But you know, it definitely made me
Yeah.
bitter for a couple years. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair.
I was definitely like, yeah, like, and I had a really good friend of mine, Noah, like my best, like, bro, like when I say like, that was like my bromance in high school. Like people would say, yeah, like that was my brother. Like after school, we're hanging out after school and like chilling after school. He took me to Tomorrow World, and I used his fake ID. Like, and him and I look alike. Like he's like
That's
a good
funny.
friend of mine. Like he's a very good friend of mine. But my parents' divorce definitely put a pause in that relationship because of just like how I acted. And I know for sure like I was just being paranoid because of just like my mindset of like
Yeah.
where I was at and like what I was dealing with at the time. And now that I'm older and I'm like, wow, like I think back and I can like unblock those things and try to think like rationally now that like I'm like, okay, it's over. Let's think about it here. Like what happened then and
Right.
what's going on now are two totally different things. Like let me hit them up. Let's see what's going on. I think people realize change right
Yes.
away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like when he saw who it was and like we were just chit chat. We've been chit chatting since, so it clearly went well. And it's like he knew. He was like, bro, you weren't always that way.
Yeah.
You went through something, you know. And like I think that that's what people need to understand is like if you see somebody going through something, don't just like stand by and be like, yo, go through it by yourself. Yo, you
Dude,
got
how
this.
many
I'll tell
times
it
I've
when
had to
you're
do
done
that?
done. Like
Oh
you
my
take it.
gosh. It sucks. They're like, "Oh, you're going through
It
stuff, so it
sucks,
seemed
bro,
like you just
because
needed some space." I was like, "No, I actually needed friends around me, but okay."
no, I actually needed the exact
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's let yeah. But you know, my friend was again though a real friend.
Mhm.
He's a real man. He was like, bro, like I could have
Yep.
done better too. Like you know, and we had a real man to man conversation that 25-year-olds are
Yeah.
supposed to do. You know, so it's like, bro, and like at the end of the day, like I told him, like he's my brother
Yep.
forever. You know, and like we squash it up, like. And we're actually about
That's
to
dope.
chill this week, so
Yeah.
it's all good stuff, and it's like people that are good people at heart, like they'll
Mhm.
understand when you're going through something, like and that you're not
We've all gone
okay,
through
you know.
stuff in our own
And like he
ways.
even said, he was like, I'm sorry that I wasn't there. I was going
Yeah.
through shit
Yeah.
myself. So he's like, if I wasn't going
Yeah.
through it
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
I got you. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Yo, it's fine because it took me until Judy, and then I had her, and she just took me and she
Yeah.
was like, I got you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna make you realize everything that you need. And then she did,
God's
man.
plan,
And
man.
even
God's
Shoku, when
plan.
God's plan, bro. Like I was just on FaceTime with George the other day, and he was like, "You're a grown ass man. I just
Yeah.
saw you like 3 months ago. What happened?" And he's like, "He's like, what the fuck?" I'm like,
I
"Dude,
surrounded
I'm
myself with
just
the right people and grew.
happy,
Yeah.
happy, man. Like I literally like
That's dope.
happy.
That's
Like
how I've
and
been
like
feeling lately
I
too. Is
couldn't.
just like I might not be where I want to be
Yeah,
yet, but
let's
like
go.
I'm just happy with everything that's going on around me. Like I wouldn't change a thing. Like I'm content with where I'm at right now. Yes, I'm still working and I still have places to there are things to do and places to be and like goals to achieve. But like being able to take a second
Hmm.
to just like be happy at where you're at and enjoy the moment. Yeah.
Bro, absolutely. My girl, that's literally my girlfriend says to wake up and every morning just for just
Yep.
5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Not even, you can make it
Yeah.
2 minutes if you want. Just lay there.
Yeah.
Just lay there. Stare at the ceiling. Listen to the quiet. Like, just listen to it and just be thankful that you woke up and be grateful for the
Mhm.
things that you have. Be grateful for, like, actually waking up and being like, all right, cool, I have another
Right.
day to go. Like, you know, because you really, like, bro, if we can take anything, please, we can take anything for the last year and a half. Life is so
Mhm.
precious. Time is precious. It's all can be taken from you tomorrow.
Yep.
The next, like, an hour. Like, you
Especially in
just
this industry, man.
never know.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially if you have
Yeah.
friends in this industry, unfortunately. But that's when you want to like know what's going on. Like, I'm infamous. Sometimes I think I'm annoying, but I really don't care because it's like you're my
Yeah.
friend. I'm gonna make sure you're good. Like
Yeah.
I'll check in
Even
on you.
checking on me, man.
I'm gonna check
Yeah.
in on you. Yeah, yeah, bro. Hey, you're family, bro. Like I said, like in the
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in the questionnaire thing, like just like you believe in us.
Yeah.
We believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Like we can definitely see you holding a serious weapon, man.
Yeah.
Like that'd be sick. Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
I saw one of
Like
my
that'd be
one of my
so sick.
one of my
Like that'd be
podcast
so
peers
sick.
actually just did artist interviews at EDC, and I was so proud of her, man. And I was like, it just lit a fire into my ass. I was like, dude, someday, please, just keep going.
Yeah, man. Just
Yeah.
keep pressing. Like my dad always said, like he's like,
Yep.
just keep pushing and just be continuously like on your grind, and
What do you think?
you'll get there. And
Thank
I
you,
know
man.
you got it.
What do you think? One of the biggest
Of
things that your
course,
dad, like you've taken away from what your dad has taught you about mindset.
it could always be worse.
That's very true.
Literally, like I hear him say it in my head. I mean, my whole tattoo is like pretty much
Hmm.
for him, and like and for just religious stuff. It's just don't take time for
Yeah.
granted. You know, be careful of how you say things and what you
Mm-hmm.
say to who, and just sometimes you gotta
Yeah, bite your tongue. Yeah, yeah,
bite your knuckles, man. As hard as it is, like I made mistakes and said things that I feel like I shouldn't
yeah.
have. Oh, 100%, we all have.
Yep.
You know,
No
no
one is
one's
perfect.
perfect, but it's like it could always be worse, and it's like
Yeah.
he's right, man. It's like I always try to tell myself it could be worse. Like it could be worse, but you know, I really haven't had like something traumatic happen to me where it could be like, oh my god, like this happened. Like you know, like I heard a really cool story about Sullivan King's
Oh
first
yeah.
show. Something about mangoes
Yeah.
and the plane. Like they got like fucked up and he couldn't play, so now he
Fuck
has
mangoes.
merch, literally
Yeah.
saying "fuck mangoes."
Embrace it.
Like
Embrace
you know, like
everything, and
embrace
yeah,
it,
yeah,
enjoy it, you know, like enjoy it. Like I'm opening for
yeah.
Flux
Congrats,
at
by
the
the way. I just saw
Ave,
that.
and
Yeah.
thank you so much, man. I'm opening for Flux and Eliminate, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, well, like I want to like I'm out for the whole
Yeah.
opener debate. I'm not sure, you know. So it's like I just want to do my thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I was talking to
Oh yeah.
Focus,
Love
who
Focus. Yeah. Great guy.
kills it, kills it in the Ave. So I actually went and watched him play at pretty much like the same time slot. Like it was a little different. He was playing for
Okay.
Eptic, uh, same place, you know, whatever. But he was playing for Eptic, and there was a couple more people on the lineup. But even the opener for that person was playing rhythm, and I was like, I love to
Mm-hmm.
see that. Like, yo, if that's your brand and that's where you're going, like,
Stick to it. Yeah.
go ahead, kid.
Yep.
Like, do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, thank God, because I get to have an illusion set, and I haven't had an illusion set in
Yeah.
so long. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I finally get to get on the stage and play an illusion set. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck
Uh,
yeah. Fuck yeah. I just made my intro the other day, and it's not like, oh, like
right.
the
Right. Right.
synths and like a dramatic intro. It's like an intro to like
Yeah.
that, like you know, like it to keep
Do you
people
have?
intrigued, and
You said you
it's cool. It's
play an
cool. I'll send
illusion
it to you.
set. Do
I'll
you
send
have
it to
like a
you.
different style of set that you play?
Yeah. So it's like how I say it is like normally like if people like open like you know you do the
Oh,
house
got it.
and
Yeah.
the whatever.
For the
Yeah.
openers, got it. Yep.
But
That makes sense.
I just don't. I don't know if I agree
I
with
don't
that.
think. Yeah. I don't think that it should be.
What do you think? As like I actually really want to know
Yeah,
this
I don't
because
think
like
it
I'm
should be. I don't
curious.
think that promoters should tell, like, if you're going to be hiring someone for the music that you like from them, why would you tell them to play something else or a different genre? That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, like, like why?
Yeah.
If you're gonna hire, say,
Yeah.
even like, if I'm gonna hire you, Illusion, to play whatever
Mm.
show, it's like, why would I tell you to play like,
Mm.
oh, can you play a progressive house set? Like, what? You don't even make. What are you talking about? No, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Like,
Yeah.
if you want a progressive house set, hire someone who plays progressive house. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my opinion on it.
I feel like once your name goes on the like the Av, they do so
Yeah.
amazing with promotion that I already
Yeah.
announced it. It was like 2 months prior that once that flyer goes up and the people that are going to the event look at the name,
Yeah.
they look it up, right? So it's like they're amazing. So I really don't even
Yeah.
have to worry about that. But like I get nervous just the word opener.
Got it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I just get nervous as hell. It's like shit, like opening, like am I not supposed to go like as hard
There's
as
a
I'm
lot of
supposed to
rules and
go? Like,
stipulations about that too. Like, that's another thing. Like, just let them play their music. Like, obviously, like, there's a reason why, like, you say you hire Slander. Use that for an example. Like, you hired Slander for a reason because they're at the top of the game and they're freaking geniuses. Whoever your opener is, even if they play bass music
Gods.
or whatever, it's gonna be their own brand, their own style. Like, let them do them. Let everyone do themselves, and
Yeah.
hire accordingly. That's
Yeah.
what I think they should do. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes me feel a lot better, man. I've been stuck on this topic
Yeah,
for
I
like
don't.
the
There's a
last
lot of rule. I don't like that rule.
week
That's
and a half, 2 weeks. I think, but that's the art. I think that's the
Yeah, yeah.
artist in me, like where
Well,
I'm
you
just,
wanna
like,
be creative.
constantly
Yeah.
fighting myself.
yeah,
You know, yeah. So I feel good though. Once I made the intro, I was like, oh,
perfect.
perfect. I'm
But,
gonna send it
alright.
to you. You tell me, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. No, you're good. I just genuinely feel like people listen to it, they'll be like, oh, this is a fucking genius.
I wanted to bring it back to your parents, getting divorced and you going through that. How did you
Yeah.
manage to stay motivated and like on track with like the outside stressors? Like, what are some tools that you've used to keep your mindset strong
Bro,
throughout
I was
times of challenge?
I say unfortunately is the word because I feel like I was unfortunately
Uh,
ignoring it.
I'm guilty of that too, man.
Yeah. And I feel like I would, yeah, man. Like, I'm sure because, I mean, now you're dealing
Yeah.
with it at 25.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I kind of just
Yep.
ignored it. And I was like, okay, like, I'll deal with this when I gotta deal with it. I know I'm
Right.
not okay with it. I know I'm okay. Like, it's sad and I'm not okay. And I know that it's this bothers me about this and that bothers me about that. And then that person saying that bothers me and this person saying that bothers me.
Yeah.
And it's like, because now it's more than
And then
just these two. Now
yeah,
it's
and
the
then your
whole
parents,
family.
yeah, your
And it's like, oh,
parents
blah,
talking
blah,
shit about each
blah.
other. You're
It's
like,
like,
whoa, 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 whoa! I love both of you. Stop. I'm not the person to talk about it. Yeah.
yeah, that, but like, it's not, and like, but then it's like, as far as like, bro, like, certain aunts
Yeah.
and uncles just
Yeah,
don't want to
dude.
shut
Yeah.
up, and I'm like, bro, like, y'all don't want to hear me
Don't ask me
talk.
these
Y'all
questions.
don't want to hear me talk. Y'all don't want to hear me speak, yo. Like, yo. And then it's just like a lot of ignoring it. And then eventually I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I need closure. Like, Judy was like, you need to get closure. I'm like, yeah. So, I reached out to a couple people that I needed closure from, said my piece, and
That's
that was
good.
that.
That's good that you were able
And
to.
honestly, it was like the best
Yeah.
thing that I've ever done because like some people that I reached out to, it was beautiful. I had like beautiful conversations with, and then there were some other people that like it went obviously south like with my family and stuff because they didn't agree with what I had to say and stuff like that. But it's like, well, I don't care because I got closure. I said it. All right, see you later. I just wanted to say what I had to say because if I didn't say it, I'd be what 40
Right.
years old and then dealing with it
Yeah.
then or something. No, like that's ridiculous. Like
Dude,
I should have dealt with this when I was 19
unfortunately
and now
there
we're
are
saying
people in
this.
this world that actually have done that, and like it fucks up their entire lives because they don't know how to deal with their issues. when the
Yeah,
issue happens, they don't know how to like
yeah,
address it. So yeah, it's good that you noticed that there was a problem, you weren't okay with that, and you were able to like
yeah,
address that. Um,
yeah.
did you have?
Go ahead, brother.
Did it cause any like effect on like your creative process or like your did you get writer's block because you're going through stuff, and like how did you did that happen to you at all?
Yes, and I didn't see it
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the time, which is like
Why
the
do I have
most
writer's block?
ironic
Oh yeah.
part because like
Yeah.
yeah, and like I would beat myself
Yeah.
up over it, and then like, or I wouldn't have writer's block. Like I'd write something, think it's great, and then now I listen to it now, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? But now it's like, I feel like I had my artist breakthrough moment when I released
Mm,
Triumph. I've just said, fuck it. I'm just
yeah.
gonna write whatever I want, and like that's what I did with Triumph, where I was like, who's making lo-fi and then able to like make it into like a
Mhm.
future bass like trap song. Like that's what I want to do. I just want to make something that's so different. And then it was kind of like my fuck you to anxiety in a
Okay.
sense, I guess, like after the pandemic, because like it was me just like getting
Yep.
feelings off my chest and such. And I kind of like, in a sense, wrote it for Judy because it's like I was like, here you go, like Happy Valentine's Day, and she's like, oh, that's so cute. You should release it on Valentine's Day. Say it's from Elusion. I was like, that's fucking genius. So it's like, so it's crazy. So it's like these things
Yeah.
just happen. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh wait, you know what? That's genius. And then Triumph was done. Like I'm not doing these like really complicated artworks either for my music. Like, do you know
Russ,
Russ? Do
yeah.
you listen to Russ? Yeah. I love the Russ formula.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. Where it's just like he just released music himself and just
He's a he's a
let
yeah.
let
He's
people
a
talk.
genius. Yeah.
Just let people talk. That man is making $100,000 a month from
Yeah,
streams.
dude, that's insane. Very
Come
few
on,
people.
bro. People ask me, why do you own your music?
That's why.
That's
Yeah.
why. This man is making
It's like
$100,000 a month
yeah.
from streams.
I literally don't have to work another day in my life.
What? This man doesn't have to release
Yeah.
music anymore
Yeah.
if he doesn't want to. But like, but because he continuously is releasing music, hundreds of thousands of dollars turning into millions. Like, this guy's a fucking genius. It would be so cool to like own a label one day and actually like make sure that artists get the cut until they have the fans, and then when they're done, you just let them do their own thing, you know. So
Do it. Start
I'm
a
telling
label.
you, it all like it's like an
Start a
economy
label.
circle.
20-year goal.
Bro,
Start a
you
label.
know, when I have clout, yo, I definitely plan on doing a lot of stuff. Like I said, I just need an agent so I can tell them my ideas. I want to do charity stuff, man. Like, people forget
Dude,
about
so
charity
much.
things. Like,
I definitely think we should be doing that more.
Shoku and I
Yep.
are dying. Thank you, bro. George and I want to do a softball
Sick.
game, so
Do it.
bad. So
What foundations
like,
do you
that
think
shit
you would
be
you would-
so fun?
aim towards?
See, but
There's a lot.
There's a lot, and a lot of
Yeah.
them are good, and a
Yeah.
lot of them aren't.
Dude, the whole thing that Excision's doing with the what is that called? The grant or whatever. So cool. No one's doing that.
Still mind fucked by it.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And I feel like Excision's like
Nobody. Bro,
setting the
nobody's like
pace
him.
for like what you should be doing, like what bigger artists should be doing to give back to their community.
Bro, he's so good. He's so good. Bro.
Yeah.
I love him. He's just a legend. He's just a legend. Like, that's what that is. Like, he's just a straight up legend. And he just continues to be a legend.
What's on the horizon for you
Absolutely.
in the remainder of this year, and what are some goals that are coming up for you?
Well, I have the show in Philly at the Ave for Flux. I'm opening for Flux and Eliminate. I'm really
Yeah, that's
excited
dope.
for that one.
Flux is a legend.
Shout out to Josie from Intercon and his wifey, his girlfriend, Emma. They're legends. They hit me up for that show. They're amazing. They were like, do your thing. That's
Mhm.
it. You know? So they're amazing. Shout out them. I'm really excited for that event. I got a couple more bangers
Sweet.
coming out.
All
I got a
self-released, or
couple
are you doing
more,
any label? Yep.
Self-released, yeah, just a couple more. I might send some to labels. I'm not really too sure yet. I would love. My goal is to have labels hit me up, be like, "Yo, we would love to have a release with you," because like, it's just a goal of mine.
Are you looking at
I truly do.
getting management again soon, or are you staying solo for a while still, or whatever happens?
I'm looking, man. I'm kind of just letting it like
That's
flow.
smart.
Like, whatever
Yep.
happens. You know, like if management that's like, yo, like I can do X, Y, and Z for you, and I will do it pro bono, and so I can show you I can do it, and then let's work.
Yeah.
There it is. Or X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like if an agent comes up to me and says something, yo, what are your plans? I would gladly in 5 minutes fax them my plans. Like, here you go. Like,
But
let's talk. You know,
remaining
like
patient,
those kinds of things.
because you know your time is coming, and just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just keep
Yep.
releasing it. Just stay patient. Keep grinding. Like you said, keep that
Yeah.
positive mindset, bro. Manifest.
Dude, I'm
you know,
I'm
just
such a believer. I know a
working,
lot of
just-
people aren't believers in like the whole manifestation thing, but dude, it's real. It's real.
Bro, if you manifest and
Yeah.
put in the work,
It's gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing. You
equals
have to put in the
greatness.
work. But
There's
yeah,
a-
manifestation and combined with
Yeah.
work. Yep.
you can't just like, yeah, you can't just like lay in bed or
Yeah.
sit in a chair and manifest $1 million.
I want to make
It
$1
just
million.
doesn't work that way.
Manifesting.
But like, yeah, you could. Yeah, I got this. Telekinesis. Different realms. Bro, no, none of that shit works. It's like you gotta manifest it for
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes as you're falling asleep after
Yep.
working your ass
Yep.
off all day. That's what you got.
Well, thank you so much for being on the pod, man.
You know, just
I
stay
can't wait. Are you
positive.
going to Los Angeles this year, or am I
Yeah,
going to be
bro,
able to
thank
actually
you.
meet you?
Bro, please, yes, I gotta figure that
to
out.
Los Angeles.
Actually, my brother and my girlfriend and I,
Yeah,
yeah,
go to
we
Los
gotta
Angeles.
figure that out.
I'll be there.
We
I
gotta
already bought my
figure
ticket, so.
that out. Go to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You already bought your ticket?
Like the day they dropped, I bought them.
I gotta do it. Bro, I'm dead ass thinking about glamping.
Do it, man.
Just so I can shower.
I'm getting Airbnb, but
Are you Airbnb?
I always get the same Airbnb because I've like built a relationship with like the owners of the Airbnb, and because I go every year, I'm just like, hey, yeah.
What? That's sick.
Can I just reserve this like a year ahead of time?
What the hell is that? So fun?
Yeah, it's
Is it
like
house?
it's like a
What?
little like condo. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Good for you, man.
It's
That's
super
so
nice.
Fire. See, I think I might have to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Mikey about that now. All right, Justin.
yeah,
thank
dude,
you so
one-
much, brother. We'll go for
Yeah,
round 2 whenever you want,
yeah.
man. I owe you for the last time for missing one.
If there's ever one last final
Hell
question,
yeah.
I always ask this at the end of every interview. If there's one piece of advice
ahead,
you could tell
brother.
yourself when you first
Yep.
started the Elusion project, what would it be?
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Start
Start
dating
dating
Jamie.
too.
No. What would I tell myself when I started the Elusion brand? Chin up,
Yep.
kid. You got this. I don't. Like
No matter what
chin up,
happens,
kid.
whatever
I was
challenges,
I
you'll
was
make it.
so I was so scared, and it took a few years for me to understand what my dad said, and it's like, do not
Yep.
be afraid. Do not be afraid.
That's
Like
what a lot
fear
of
is
people
going to
get
be your
caught up
number
in
one
and why they
enemy,
don't
no
chase
one
their
else.
goals. Yep.
Yeah, I just conquer your fear. Never give up, and just
Yeah.
really don't be afraid. Be yourself and be
Hell
proud
yeah.
of it. No matter what it is, just be proud. And
Yep.
just stay happy as much as you
Awesome.
possibly can.
Thanks so much,
That's
man.
it, man. That's it, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you.